Yes, my dear students. So already we just explained the record how to write in our classroom, but still now there is so many doubts is arising. Okay, I agree that you just felt some difficult. Why? Because you are just writing first time the record, I think. So I just want to clarify some doubts throughout this video. So just concentrate on it to avoid the mistakes and to make it perfect. Okay, so let's discuss. So first, you should be maintain the date here in a particular manner. Okay, every time, and you should be maintain the particular page number here. For example, that 1, 2, 3 and 4 throughout the experiment, throughout the sheets until you turn out. The next series the continue చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళిపోవడమే 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 అలా. That is the page number, and you should maintain you just maintain the experiment 1 only here. It should be experiment 1 only. No need to mention this A again. Okay, so that is experiment 1, and you should maintain next you should maintain the particular heading here. What is the experiment given to you? So it should be must and should. Okay, so with bold, with a complete good font size, with complete capital letters only. Okay, with the complete capital letters you should be maintain here the perfect heading, right? So now and just write it clearly the aim. What is the aim? And make it some such side heading symbol, and just put the underline with some color, and just everything is here. Okay, this everything is okay, and from this there is a next side heading. Just mention some bullet point, and just you should keep some line distance. You just leave one line here, so it will be beautiful, little bit beautiful, right? Okay, so why don't you left the one line here to make it clear? So it's very looking very good. And then next side heading, there is a theory, and just put some bullet point, or and here also there is a need of just leave the one line, so it looks very beautiful. So this is for the first page. So the diagrams. So the diagram should be with the pencil, with the clear, and just write these letters with the pen. No, with the pen only, with a not a with bright. కంప్లీట్గా అది ముద్దగా పడిపోయేటట్లుగా రాయకండి. వైట్ సైడ్ అనేది ఎంత నీట్గా ఉంటే అంత బాగుంటుంది. సో యూ షుడ్ బి మెయింటైన్ విత్ జస్ట్ లైక్ షార్ప్ అండ్ దట్స్ డార్క్ pen. You should use it. So here the diagram should be maintained with the pencil in the white side only, in the white side. Okay, paper white side only. Just use this, and this again the identification of the parts only. Also you should be maintained with a some dark and sharp edged pens, so it looks beautiful. Not bold pens. Don't use the bold pens like this. These are bold pens. I'm just writing the different. I'm just telling the difference between the bold and just sharp. So this is the bold, and I just used this like a thin. So I just mentioned here now. So this is the B. So this is bold. This is sharp pen. So which is looks as a beautiful further identification in the parts of the diagram. Okay. Then now. So again the diagram will be clear. So just border the diagram with the pencil only. Okay, with the pencil only, then it looks very beautiful. I think it is understood, right? Next, let's see. In the same way, here the page number is not continued, so you should maintain the page number. And one more thing important is you should mention the date same for entire experiment. Okay, while it is at the 22 of the November like that, then you should be maintain the date as a 22 November. While here also you just not maintain a line gap, so you should just mention the line gap and make it clear the bullet points 1, 2, 3. This is a fine thing. This is a fine thing and nice. Next page, let's move on to the next page. And now this is observation table. This is a very most important here, so you just keep going on this. So in the observation table you just maintain the page number here, it's a fine, and experimental number is clear, experiment number 1. And then observation table you just put the border here. These student just done these observation table in the rule paper side, right? Wrong. So this is not a fine thing, so keep going on this. So you should be maintain this. You should be maintain this on the white paper side. Okay, white paper side, this observation table should be right on the white paper side, and you should be colored. You should be sketched with the borders, these borders. Okay, these borders, these cutouts should be with the pencil only, with a pencil clearly and fine, not like this. It should be just like, just a minute. Why I'm showing this means I am just maintaining some curve shapes, so that I think you are also doing maybe curve. No, it should be fine line, straight line with a clear pencil. Okay, it should be clear pencil. So fine line should be bordered like this on the white paper side with the pencil only. Then make it this observation table with the pen. So remaining all you can use the pen on the white paper side. It's clear. So remaining side everything should be using the pen, and entire should be use this. So of course you can use different colors also for these purposes. Okay, and I am already tell in your classroom, don't try to use more time as a glitters. Why? Because these glitters will give a shade to the outside of the that other side of the paper, which looks as a ugly. So make it fine, make it clear for that. I should not accept whether the glitters makes some shades to other side of the paper. Okay, so make it clear that look on that. So better to use, of course, color pens, which is available for 5 rupees or 10 rupees at the market. Those are very best, and don't be pressed like these. Okay, don't be pressed the pen like this. It will give a shadow and disturbance to the other side of the paper. Just make it is thin like this. Okay, so it's a fine thing to maintain the record. And here you just mention the precautions like that. One P is PRE is a one font, and U is one font, and T is big, I is small, and this is gap. So maintain the record properly. So make it with the full better handwriting. Same page number should be continued. And the next thing, so same thing here. Also you should make it some dots, and a gap should be maintained, and theory it should be maintained. Do some bullet points, man. It's a very looking very fine, right? So next, so here now, which is the not a maintaining good thing, that is you should be maintained properly. This equation part, you should be maintain the equation part with a continuous manner. Why should you not maintain this continuous part? Maintaining not in the continuous part, it should be equal with this box, right? Why are you not maintaining some gap between these two lines? It's look very, and I'm not satisfied with this. So you should be maintain this with a proper way. These are equation parts will be separate from the sentences, right? So for this you should be maintaining some clear. So these equation part you should be make it clear, write it clear to appear as highlights. So this equation part is maintaining some highlighting, so that you should be keep writing this with some order, particular order, with some particular order you should be maintain this. Okay, so in this equation part you should be maintain some proper order, so not mingled with all the remaining matter what you are writing. Okay, like this, these are like this, just maintain some gap here, one line gap here. You should be maintain this, you should be maintain for this only particular, you should be maintaining one line gap here, and also give a one gap here, and now these equation will be get highlighted, so it's visible clear. Okay, so of course both two can maintain in the single continuous two lines, no issue, but just maintain a gap here and write this identification should be also which is immediately downwards, it should be. Okay, which is immediately downwards, it should be. Just write that. Why? Because this white puppet which is indicates this CaCO3 calcium carbonate. So and the equation should be right. Very good. This is fine. This is a fine way, right? Why? Because this equation is looking different and highlighted here, and make it separate from the entire matter. So it's very understandable. So you have to maintain this like this only here, like this, enter the record, right? Next, here also he just did the observation table here in the rule side. Don't do this. So he just the observation table you should be maintain in the white paper side. Okay, if you are right, no issue, keep it. You don't make it disturb. Why? Because if you did some that thread files, of course you can change only single paper, but you are maintaining the book here, so that there is a not a fine thing to change the paper, right? And next, yes, this diagram is good. This diagram fine. Here also observations is day here, and you just maintain the result. Result is fine. The writing should be clear, and the which is given in the capital letters is a fine thing, and also maintain the line gap result. This entire box should be this. This entire box should be, of course, it's clear. It's a good. Just then now maintain one gap here, one line gap. Then start the precautions, and you can be continued as these precautions as don't put the boxes. I just marking for the identification purpose only, right? Then now this is the very blunder mistake they did. So why are you pasting this graph here on the paper? This is not a fine thing. Okay, you just don't mention. Don't attach or don't paste. Don't paste the graph paper on the particular paper. You just attach the entire paper just here on the border, on the page. Either here or the page. You just maintain some attachment only, that graph paper here only. With applying some light line with a very thin, you should be maintain the gum should be thin with a proper way, which it should not be looks as a ugly purpose. Okay, just here you just kept with just attach here, just make it gum and just attach it here the graph paper. Otherwise, if you can't do, then maintain the heading here and just note the experimental name. What is the experiment name and which this graph will be shown. it should be, of course, the graph papers will be provided on the last of your book, right? So at the end of the book you can find the graph papers, then only you can write the graph and maintain the heading here, and maintains the heading here. Okay, maintains the heading here for this graph. This is experiment, so that you can, it's a better thing. Other else, if you are not find the any graphs at the end of your book, then just paste the graph, with a very thin applying gum, just slightly at the middle. Okay, so then it will be looks as a page provided. Okay, other else, of course, you can make it pin also, just little 2 pins. If you pinned it just with a little 2 pins, you can, it's a look fine thing. Okay, so this is a very blunder mistake to paste the graph on the white paper side. It's look very ugly. So, and then most probably already I said in the lesson, in the classroom, I just already said that you just maintain the scale here. Scale should be mentioned here. So, and also you should be identify 0, 1. It's a common sense, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This quantity, and it should be here. So volts represents here. The graph represents volts. OLTS here it should be mentioned, not here. Okay, here it should be mentioned, and also this is the current. So why you just mentioned the current I? Why don't you mention here current here, this bracket I? So like this, you just mention this clearly. So by the attachment only, by the pasting only, you just did these mistakes. If you maintain this some page view, you can write it clearly here. Like I, like current here on the x-axis, current here, that is I. Okay, current here, that it is voltage, which is represents with O, and you can mention here in the x-axis I just taken as a volts V, and at the y-axis I can take a current, that is I. Okay, you can maintain, and you can maintain the scale also here. So already I explained to you all in the class. So this is a random mistake. Take attention about this, right? Next, same date should be mentioned with the other date. Not only same dates should be mentioned for the entire record, right? Next, aim should be mentioned here. Heading of the aim should be mentioned here, and you should be maintain the date, and you should be maintain the page number, and it's right now. It's clear. 04 fourth experiment, like this, and this is the theory. You just just put a line gap here, and just put also one line gap here, and then now Ohm's law. Ohm's law is taking a line gap, and now you are describing the Ohm's law. So this is a fine thing. Of course, this is right. Okay, and put it in that some box. This is fine thing, of course, no issue, and everything is fine in this space. So I already asked you to all, so don't maintain the red ink and green and the same pink for the side headings, right? So please try to avoid. So must and you should be avoid the red and green, and try to in the possible way avoid the pink color also. It's a fine thing. So for the red and green should not be acceptable for the record. Okay, enter this diagram. This diagram will be considered with the pencil. It's a fine. Next, of course, you can write these with the pen. Fine. And assembly diagram. Why are you not mentioned the underline here? Okay, so next, this diagram is good, fine art, very well. You just maintain the art here. Drawing is good. Same procedure. Sir, please keep with a neat handwriting. This PR is fine. Why are you maintaining the gap? C is small, E is big, and this E is big. U is what? You are writing a record, not a just a rough work. So just please maintain the better handwriting. Okay, yes, this is over the procedure. Again, you just pasted the graph here. Now if you have two graphs to write, just you maintain the page 1 as for one graph, and you can take another graph paper. You should maintain the graph paper for the second. You just maintain the another graph for the second graph, right? So it's a good thing, but it's a not fine thing. But it's not a fine thing to this, and this is in the portrait, the landscape way, and this is now in the portrait way. So this is not a fine thing to pasting, right? So you just keep going for two graph papers. One graph paper you should be attached, and then take a second graph paper and it should be attached here. Then it's a fine thing. Otherwise you can make it draw at the end of your record also. Same thing, observation. You just maintained on the rule, so just keep maintain it in the white paper side only. Okay. Next, calculation. This is a very good thing. Fine. The calculation should be maintained on the white paper side only. Okay. So calculation should be maintained on the only white paper side only. It's a fine thing. It's very fine. Very fine. It's good. Same common heading should be there. No need of heading should be there. Again, why? Okay, experiment 4, fine. Okay, clear. And page number you should be mentioned. Of course, again you should need not to mention here as experiment number 4, because we thought that this is another experiment. So no need to mention the experiment 4. Okay, here, and everything is fine. Result and the precautions. Already I told you. For the every experiment, you should mention the result is must and should mandatory. It is, and also you should maintain the precautions. You should put precautions. Otherwise, if you not mention the result and if you not mention the precautions, the experiment will be not valid. And here, this is a blunder mistake. I think it's appear as a red color, so it's not valid. So circuit diagram. Whatever be the heading, you should not maintain the red, you should not maintain the green. Of course, pink also not valid. Okay, maintain the underline. Next, also here, aim will be starts again here. So aim will be starts here. Aim will be starts again here. Here aim will be starts again, so that you just maintain the experiment name. It's mandatory, otherwise record will be not allowed. Next, same materials, theory, procedure. Okay, fine. Procedure. Maintain the writing properly. So observation table should be on the white paper side. Calculation is fine on the white paper side, right? Student result. And percentage error is fine, and the precautions, okay, fine, everything is here fine. Mention the page numbers, it should be mandatory. Now circuit diagram, of course fine, sir. And most probably for every whatever may be the circuit diagram and whatever may be the diagrams, you should use the equipment. You should use the scale, man. Why are you just drawn with your own hand? So it makes some curves like. So circuit diagram, maybe it does not have a this type of curves, right? This type of curves, right? Okay, use the apparatus. This is a common thing. So use the scale here. So why? And it should be draw with the pencil only. Okay, and this everything is fine. Battery eliminator, yes, very good. Restart. Assembly diagram. Why don't you maintain that underlines? And here also you just aim is started here, so that you just mentioned the label, and that is a heading. What is the experiment? It is name of the experiment you should be maintained, and date should be changed for every experiment. I already told you. So date is another date, and the page number will be continuous. Okay, then aim, materials required, theory is everything is fine, and make it if he entire this has a vacant place, no? So why don't you mention it here in the proper way, in the neat way? So you just maintain the formula with some highlighting, right? So you just mention here, try to mention this, okay, in the proper way with a highlighting appearance. So then only it will be good. Next procedure, you keep going for this procedure, right? Procedure will be there. And observation table, again it should be maintained on the white paper side. Next, calculation is fine, and same result is fine. Percentage error, like this you just maintain this one line gap. No, you are not maintained this one line gap. Okay, of course you just maintain the one line gap here, then it's look good. In the same way here also, aim is there, so that you should be maintain the label, and date should be different for the other experiment, and the page number you should be keep going continuous on this, and theory, right? Procedure fine. So maybe I think this the number, this writing for this procedure is good, I think. Then now again observations. It's a sudden rainfall. Okay, fine. Okay, then now, yes, the diagram will be fine. I think maybe photograph will be not clear. And sketch this with the scale. Then maybe this will be not with some different sides, right? It will be accelerated like a wave. Okay, so you should be maintaining with this best equipment. Why? Because you are maintaining the record, right? So don't avoid this all. I just show you what the thing you have done. So this is the line. So I just keep maintain the line in the straight way. So how your sketch will be going on? How do you identify this? How your sketch will be going on from this, like this way. Okay, are you identified it? So keep in the better way, because you are maintaining the record, not a rough work. Okay, and now the result will be fine. And precautions, just put like this. Okay, maybe it's fine, looks fine. Okay, maybe it's look fine. I am just taking these marks with the hand, with the fingers only. That's why I am not make it proper. అర్థమైంది అనుకుంటానండి. So fine. So you just do everything with a fine way. Try to make it fine way. సో అర్థమైందా? రెండు విషయాలు గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి. చేతి రాత ఎంత బాగుంటుందో నుదుటి రాత అంత బాగుంటుందంట. సో ఫైన్. సో రికార్డ్ అనేది రికార్డ్ విషయంలో జాగ్రత్తగా రాయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి, గాబరగా రాయకండి. అండ్ సెకండ్ థింగ్ విషయం ఏంటంటే, ఈ రికార్డింగ్ 10 మార్క్స్. ఓకే, టేక్ కేర్. బట్ రాయండి. ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే వాయిస్ రికార్డ్ మెసేజ్ పెట్టండి నాకు, ఓకేనా? రిక్వెస్ట్, డోంట్ టేక్ ఏ కాల్స్, జస్ట్ పుట్ ఏ వాయిస్ మెసేజ్ ఆన్ ద వాట్సాప్. సో ఐ విల్ క్లారిఫై యువర్ డౌట్. ఓకేనా? టేక్ కేర్.